Hi everybody, I'm back in the man cave. I'll just give you a quick talk today, mostly to wish you a very happy new year as we head to the end of 2020 and into 2021. And I know you're probably sick of hearing it that 2020 was a tough year. It's got nothing to do with the year. It's the time that we're in. It's the period. 2021, at least the beginning of it, isn't going to be any better. So I think we should stop worrying about that. But yeah, we look at the downside of what's happened, okay? But hey, look at the upside as well. I mean, for actors, I mean, there is more ways of training than there's ever been before. I can train people now in Mayo and Cork and Donegal and France and England and South Africa. Online, and I have been. Whereas before they would sort of look at it and go, oh, well, I can't get to Dave's Wednesday workshop or Friday studio, so I'm out of it. I can't do the applied art of acting. I live too far away, so I'm out of it. You're not out of it. Not anymore. There are always ways to train, okay? And in fact, there's more ways to train than there ever has been. Film and TV has been doing very well. Obviously, people are stuck at home. They want to watch good things. Once we got back out of this lockdown and started, making film and television again, actors started working. I know I got more work in 2020 than I did in 2019 as a professional actor. There's no reason for us really to get all that, down in the dumps about it. The thing about actors is we always live this way. Yeah, that's the thing we have to remember about ourselves, is that, we never know what's around the corner. We don't know if we're walking into a year of no work, where we have to adapt and where we have to find something else to pay the bills while we keep promoting ourselves and getting ourselves out there and training and becoming better and better and better. So we're used to this, and then bang, around the corner, it's like it doesn't rain, it pours. Suddenly you've got 2-3 jobs, one after the other. Then you're back into another drought. So we do this all the time. We're tough, we're resilient, we adapt. We are, on the flip side of that, sensitive, So I do understand that it's tough. I know that feeling of being afraid, of wondering where the next job's going to come from and how things are going to go. But really, I think the best lesson for us in the situation that we're in is not to wait. Keep doing things. Don't put yourself on hold. Don't go into your own personal lockdown where you don't, where you're understimulated. Okay, you don't need to be. You can be doing one-to-one training online. You can be doing workshops online. There's lots of opportunities to be doing that and working on things and getting better and better. I mean, Zoom has been fantastic. These breakout rooms where you go off and rehearse, come back to the group and perform. That's what we do in the studio anyway, Now, don't get me wrong. I love being in the studio. I like being around people. So I would love it to go back to the way it was before. But in the meantime, we don't have to wait. We can keep doing really effective work, on Zoom and then into the studio to do the filming. It's not difficult, all right? So I got a question there, which was an interesting one that I just wanted to quickly broach. An actor contacted me, sent me a private message and said, do you think this is worth it? This thing of trying to be an actor, of making yourself the best actor that you can be, and putting in all of that time and effort and energy, and then receiving the disappointment of not getting that role or whatever it is that you do audition for, and contacting casting directors and all of the things that we need to do, And that question is an interesting one, because if you're asking it, what you're really asking yourself is, am I prepared to take this talent, this drive that I have, this instinct to act, and put it on hold for a certain amount of time, possibly forever? And is that really what I want to do? If you ask yourself the question, I'm going to, if I was to stop acting for good, like tomorrow, that's it, give it up for New Year's resolution, never going to act again, like giving up smoking, right? I couldn't do it. And I know a lot of the actors that I teach, in fact, all of the actors that I teach could never do that. It'll come back. It'll come back for you, rather than you coming back to it. Yeah, it'll hunt you down, because it's not something that you're trying to do or something that you're trying to be. It actually is you. It's who you are. if you are a naturally talented actor, if it's a thing that's a natural instinct in you and not something that you're trying to do to, become famous or make money, or that you're doing because you're pretty or something and you think it's going to, you think that's going to kind of get you somewhere or whatever. If you're an actual, blood actor who wants to play roles, who wants to explore lives that are not your own to the extent that it feels like they are your own, then you won't be able to walk away from that even if you try, right? So if being in the business is driving you a bit nuts, if it's a bit depressing, getting no response from, self-tape after self-tape after self-tape, just remember that if you've trained and you're doing those self-tapes really well, ticking all the right boxes, getting the arc of the character, etc., happening, all the stuff I teach, right? More than likely, you were the second or third choice for that role. You just don't know it because they don't tell you that, But if you're doing everything right, and then they're asking you to do another self-tape 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, that's because you did the first one well. If you keep getting asked to do them again, even though you're not getting the roles, you're on the right track. You're doing something right. And one of these days, if you keep at it, you will crack into something. Now, no acting teacher, no responsible acting teacher will ever guarantee you success. Okay, because it's not something that they can obviously do. I can't do it. Nobody can. Okay, nor can any acting teacher guarantee you failure. No acting teacher can turn around to you and say, "Oh, you don't look like Paul Mescal, so you're not going to make it." And Paul Mescal just happens to be a good-looking guy. He also trained as an actor and trained hard, and he's also infinitely talented, not just at acting, but at music as well. Okay. It's, he just comes up well on screen, right? So, no one can turn around to you and say, oh, you're going to make it because of this, or you're not going to make it because of that. Have a look at the actors that are on the television. Turn that television on and flick it around. How many of them are fashionably model type, good-looking guys and girls? Very few. It's not that. That's not what it's about. So if you ask yourself why you want to be an actor and you answer the question with, oh, I want to be famous, do you? Have you heard the interviews of people who have found fame and how difficult it has been for them? How much it's driven them demented? I don't know if that's what you want. Are you in it for the money? There's much, much easier ways to make money. Even the guys at the very top, Kevin Bacon, doing TV commercials. We all have to do the things that we have to do to make money and pay the bills. It doesn't stop just because you're an A-list Hollywood actor. If you're an A-list Hollywood actor, your job is to try and stay on it, But really, at the end of the day, guys, it's not about any of that. It's about telling stories. It's about being that person and drawing an audience along a journey. That's what it really comes down to, and that's what I tell my students. This is all about the audience. This is about teaching the audience something, about not being didactic, but bringing them along a journey of discovery of a life that isn't yours. So that they question things about the world, about themselves, so that they're moved to open their mind, open their heart in different ways. So look, I won't babble, but look, we're coming to that end of the year, New Year's thing, and I know a lot of people asked that question around New Year's. We all do, of course. What am I going to do? What's my New Year's resolution going to be? Am I going to give something up? And am I going to start doing something? These things that we ask ourselves at this time of year. So if you're asking that question about being an actor, do you want to start? There is millions of opportunities to train now that you wouldn't have even had before. You could live in the middle of nowhere. And as long as you've got decent Wi-Fi, in Mayo or County Clare or somewhere like that, you can jump online and you can do one-to-one classes and you can do workshops right now. It's all there. If you're asking yourself, am I going to give it up? That's okay too. There's no point in letting it drive you mad. There's no point in being depressed by it. But ask yourself what it's like in 5 years' time when you're looking back saying, it's coming back for me. It wants me back. What do I do now? Anyway, guys, Happy New Year, all right? I want you to have a lovely time. I'll see you in the new year. All the classes are starting back in the first week. The one-to-one online classes are continuing on. We will not give up. We are adaptable. We are actors. Remember, we've been through this. We go through this all the time. We never know what's around the corner. This isn't anything new to us. All right, guys. See you later.